Hey, hey, beloveds. I have, of course, been asked many different questions about what I think about the upcoming solar eclipse. And so let's dive in. First of all, I've got to let you know, right? We talk about all the time how our bodies take 7 years um, to renew themselves and to regenerate themselves. And so this eclipse goes back to another cycle that was 7 years ago. And so you're going to want to look at 2018 to see what changes you made at that time. I know for myself, I had decided to move from a small town in Mexico to the beach at this time, and it was a huge change for me because I had lived at the beach before, but I had never lived at the beach in Mexico, right? And so this was a huge thing. Miana had just moved here as well, and so there was just this huge energy for us. A lot of change was here, and so it was a lot of me, I want to say even healing my inner child by giving her what she, thought she always wanted, right? And so we're going to look back and see what major shifts did you make 7 years ago, right? Because the body now and cycles come in 7. This is why 7 is such a spiritual number. This is why we have 7 days in the week and so forth. 7 chakras, right? Even though we have more. However, we focus on 7 in a lot of different aspects. And so think back to your time. What were you doing in 2017 and in August 2017 through August of 2018? And then you'll get a clue to what has healed. And I know for myself, a lot of those childhood traumas and wounds that were still within me have been completely shifted in the last, this coming up to this cycle. I can feel it, this first quarter alone of 2024, this year of abundance coming out of a year of 7 last year, which was the year of intuition. I started this year earlier by going to Egypt, which was a lifelong dream. So again, completing a cycle, the little girl cycle, and I'm just saying little girl for myself, but the little person cycle, any inner stories, any dreams, any traumas, any dramas, all of those things, that 7 years, because 7 years before that, I think at the time I was living I was living in Europe. And so when we look at things in these cycles of 7, what we set up now for this one will last us 7 ahead, right? And it's just like when we do our inner child work healing, when we do shadow work, we talk about healing 7 generations behind and 7 generations ahead. This is what eclipse cycles do. They will heal us 7 generations ahead. So if you've been someone who breaks cycles in your family, like I do, with alcohol and with living abroad and all the different things, you will see that in this cycle of 7 magnified and amplified. And so you're going to want to use your clear crystals. So get your quartz, get your selenite, one of my favorites. Get your moonstone. It is still a new moon, and so use these moon frequencies to help you stay grounded and connected. Remember, because that is the whole frequency, right? So I'm wearing my moonstone right now, but I won't be wearing it on Monday because the energy might be too strong. And so I'll have to see how it feels, right? Either I'll wear it here or wear it on my wrist, again, depending on how the vibes feel. And so some other things that you can do, again, is, do you know your astrology? Do you know where Aries is in your chart? And so for me, it actually is hitting in my wounded healer area, the Chiron, which I also call the healer aspect. It's the parts of us that need to be healed. And so as I was just sharing, these cycles of 7, and so mine happens to be in Aries in that Chiron spot. And so it was also in a retrograde. And so guess what? This is going to be super magnified for me because I'm also a quadruple Cancer. And so this is why having your birth chart supports you in knowing what this all truly means, right? And so everybody is an astrologer, but you know, we have to really understand how these different events are going to affect us. And so number 3 is, or, you know, I've just been kind of riffing here, but you know, the third thing I want to share with you is, you know, listen to your intuition. If you're feeling the need to be inside, be inside. If you want to light candles, light candles. If you want to, you know, people who just experienced an earthquake, now that we're hearing all these different stories, you know, you might want to pack a bag. I don't know. If you feel that that's what you're feeling, you might want to have an emergency kit just in case something pops off. You might want to, you know, have cash on hand, a full tank of gas, extra food, any of that kind of thing, right? Again, trust your intuition here, because we're all over the world. We never know how this is going to affect, but it will affect the entire planet. Even people who aren't seeing it are going to be affected by it 100%, because this is a global experience. And so we have to allow ourselves to recognize that when we have these global experiences, this is when we can really start to recognize the intensity that the planets actually do have in our lives, right? And so this, at this time, it's actually, if I find it so interesting, because now everybody believes in astrology. You know, everybody believes in astrology. And, you know, but before it was, oh, I would just, you know, oh, that's just woo. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. But now everybody's an astrologer. And so, you know, we have to think and remember that our ancestors did everything by the moon and the stars and the sun. And there was a reason for that. And so this is going to not only amplify our intuition, it's going to connect us even deeper with our ancestors, because these are karmic cycles and patterns that are being healed. So what are you, you know, what are you releasing and what are you reclaiming? Because remember, we said 7 years ago you left something, and now 7 years you're, you know, reclaiming something and releasing something. And so it's so important that you ask yourself these 3 questions. First of all, during the next 24, 36, 48 hours, what is my intuition trying to tell me? You know, I'm always asking you this question. What is your intuition trying to tell you? Do not think. Get still, get quiet, and breathe. And that is how you will hear what your intuition is trying to tell you. Also, journal, write, create, whatever it is you're feeling like your body needs to do, allow your body to do that. If that's rest or yoga or breath work or run or punch a pillow or scream, get that energy out of your system. Remember, this is an energy to release. We're in a year of karmic abundance, right? Karmic abundance is remembering that what you put out comes back. So if you've been putting out good magic, good energy, that is what you can expect to come back to you. And then lastly, I just want to say too, that, you know, decide who you want to be in this next cycle of 7 years. Decide who you want to be once and for all. The fears, the past, the drama, the trauma, ask for that to be lifted so you can be shifted and truly lifted. Oh, there's my wrap for tonight. Okay. And so this is our time, beloveds. This is the time we have been waiting for, this age of Aquarius, this time of change, of reawakening, of renaissance, and of, you know, true, you know, world shifts. We've called it in, and now we must answer the call. So, remember, if you would like to get an AstroSoul session, they are available now, so you can start to look in deeper into what your birth chart is trying to tell you about your purpose, your destiny, as well as your karmic story. So until next time, beloveds, Ashe.